Hi, and welcome to Marriott MBA Today. I'm Rob Callen. Today we're talking to a student who refused to take no for an answer, even when things got tough. We're joined in the studio today by Jacob Lyman, a first-year MBA student in the OBHR track, and he's here today to tell us his story about the internship search, how it went for him, and a pretty unique set of circumstances. So to kind of kick things off, Jacob, I just wanted to ask, what was the company that you were targeting and why were you so interested in it?
Yeah, so the company that I was targeting was LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I was interested in LinkedIn since I started networking with people. And the thing that really stood out to me about them was the emphasis that their employees put on kind of building your own experience, really having a lot of decision-making ability and autonomy in constructing what was a good experience for you, and really having that authority to drive results on your own terms, in a sense. And that was really what drove me to LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn is one of the companies that comes on campus to recruit, is that right?
That's right, yes.
Okay, so how did that initial process go? What were your interactions with them?
Yeah, so before the school year began, I had reached out to my Sherpa, Chase Weed, to help connect me to people at companies that I was interested in. And he connected me to one of the first-year students or second-year students who was interning there over the summer. And I spoke with him about the company and about my interest and about his experiences there to get a feel for what the internship would look like for me. And from there on, he connected me to a couple former MBA students who were currently at LinkedIn. And I was able to network with them and build strong relationships with them that really benefited me during the recruiting cycle.
Great. So it comes time to submit resumes, submit your application. What happens next?
Yeah, so I applied for the job. I had spoken to everybody that I could get a hold of, and when the interviews were assigned, I unfortunately didn't get one. And reached out to the recruiters to express my disappointment, but also to ask them for feedback, and ask them, what was the reason that I didn't get an interview, so that I could progress and move forward and be able to have a stronger experience with other companies that I interviewed with. And he gave me some really specific feedback that I took to heart and really implemented quickly. I thanked him for that, followed up a couple days later, letting him know how I had applied that and what changes I had made, and told him that if a spot ever opened up, I would be interested in continuing the process with LinkedIn. And when a spot did open up, he reached out to me and asked if I would still be interested in interviewing, and I absolutely told him yes. Interviewed with them and had a really good first round interview. After that, I was able to get a second round interview with them and go out to California to interview with them again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your hopes are probably flying pretty high at this point.
Absolutely.
It's pretty hard to get a flyback with a lot of companies. So you go out to the flyback, you have a good experience, and then what happens?
So around Thanksgiving, I got word that I had lost out to a couple other candidates, and I again was very disappointed. But continued to strengthen and develop those relationships with the people that I had spoken with throughout the time interviewing with them, because I had really valued their insight and input, and knew that going forward in the job cycle and in my further interviews, I would be able to get a lot of valuable feedback and insight and help from them. So continued, and I also continued to express my interest in LinkedIn. I let them know that my interest wasn't solely for an internship, but it was for full-time opportunities. And a couple months later, they had one of the students who they had extended an offer to drop out of the process, and reached out to me and asked if I would like to interview again with another employee at LinkedIn. I told them yes, and interviewed with them. And was able to actually get an internship after that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So as I listen to your story, a couple of thoughts come to mind. One of them is that at multiple points in that process, you had the choice to keep going or to just, move on, cut your losses, move on. What was it that kept you focused on LinkedIn through that whole process?
And to your point, I did with a lot of other companies. I had that same experience and just cut my losses and kind of wrote them off. But with LinkedIn, I really knew that they were the company that I wanted to work for. They had a culture that I admired. They had employees that I saw as really intelligent and really capable people that I could learn a lot from. And so wanted to continue to develop those relationships because I wanted to work there still and wanted to be a part of what they were building and what they're going to accomplish in the future.
So in the time that we have left here today, what advice would you have for someone who might be struggling in their own internship search or full-time job search for that matter? What would you say to them?
I would say that building strong relationships with the recruiters and with anybody that you interact with at the company really makes a difference and can really make an impact down the line. Whether it doesn't have to have an immediate result, but it can be something that will pay dividends in the future. And I think that having persistence and not being willing to see a no as a no, but being willing to see that no as a not right now, keep trying, can really benefit you as it benefited me.
That's a great story, and thank you for sharing it with us today, Jake.
You're welcome.
And it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Good luck on your internship.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yep. And thank you for tuning in to Marriott MBA Today. We'll see you next time.